Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you can see me, hope you can hear me. Welcome to today's Admirals webinar, where we're going to be focusing on sort of the trading psychology element of trading, and we're going to be talking about basically how do I improve my trading? What can I do to improve my trading? If you're joining us here live, great to have you here. Okay, fantastic. You can by all means put your questions in the chat box. If you're watching this later on demand on the Admirals YouTube channel, then be sure to give us a like, you know, if you found this useful or helpful, and also make sure to subscribe there onto the Admirals channel so that you get sort of notified of all the fantastic content that my colleagues Jens and Marcus and myself are putting out here with Admirals. So as I said, we're going to be focusing mostly on trading psychology here today. You know, listen, a fascinating subject, okay, which has many levels to it. We're going to be focusing today, just because you know the time and the nature of what we're talking about, on just taking a bit of a broad brush look at it, and then focusing on a few elements, a few questions that you can ask yourself, okay, that you can challenge yourself on in terms of, you know, what can you do to improve your own trading. And hopefully what we'll see is that we'll see a bit of maybe a bit of insight in terms of, you know, what you think you need to do to improve your trading as opposed to what you actually need to do. Very often people have that a little bit they have a little bit sort of confused about that. Okay, they think that what they need to do and what they actually should do are the same thing, but very often it can be quite the different. So let's crack on then, shall we? Let's if you just bear with me, what we'll do is we'll bring up the screen and for the slides, and we'll have a little look at what we've got to discuss today. Super. So once again, as I said, hope you can all see me, hope you can hear me, and let's talk about you know, how can I improve my trading. It's a great thing here, Darshan. That's very kind of you to say. No need to call me Lord Wallace, but that's very kind of you not to say. Great to see you here, and I appreciate you joining us here. And yeah, wish you a happy new year as well, because I appreciate that we have a truly broad range of people who come and join us for our sessions, both geographically. We have people from all over the world, and also in terms of their trading experience. Some people are just new. Some people have been been trading for many years. Okay, you're all very welcome. I hope there'll all be something that you can take away from this session that helps you just become a better trader tomorrow. Okay, you know, that's what, you know, that's what my aim is that, you know, with the content we provide you here, that you're able to just be, you know, a better trader day by day. Okay, it's there is no overnight success pill with trading. It's something that you just work at, okay, and improving day by day, week by week, month by month, quarter by quarter, year by year. That's the way we make progress. But thank you for that. That's very kind of you. You know, and it's be great to hear from the people we have here joining us. You know, maybe you have ideas. You know, what have you done yourselves to improve your own trading? Okay, is there other hacks or ideas or tactics that you've come across that have helped you? You know, when you've hit an obstacle. Okay, like any really good endeavor, trading is a journey, and like on any journey, there will be obstacles. Okay, and it's about, you know, how we overcome those obstacles is what actually helps sort of define our sort of next level of success. You know, in trading and in life. So, you know, here we are, Admirals, okay, a Forex and CFD broker with you know, global presence and local support, licensed and regulated across a wide range of regulatory environments, providing competitive spreads on the most popular trading products and providing you the opportunity to engage with markets using both MT4 and MT5 platforms. If you have any questions about Admirals, please get in touch with your account representative, and they'll be very happy to help guide you. And you know, not only that, if you want to sort of get more from the Admirals content team, well then by all means make sure that you subscribe to our Telegram channel. There you can see it at Admirals, not a surprise there. You can see my colleague Jens there looking very sharp. And what you'll find is that, you know, there is always content being put out on our Telegram channel, and invariably that gives you very quick, up to the date information on what's going on in the markets, and also what other content that is available for you. And as we all know, we're into November now. Okay, so what you'll find here, as it says, is most companies save their best sales deals just for Black Friday, but you'll find that Admirals all the way through November are providing a 50% cashback deal. Just make sure you can see there. Okay, you can register on the link below. But if you want to get 50% cashback on your trading, then make sure you register until November the 14th. So what are we going to talk about today? What are we going to focus on? All right. So we're going to talk about, right, well, what are the challenges that prevent traders from improving? There's a wide range of obstacles that we come across as a trader. How can we utilize good practices from great traders to help us? What can we take on board? And what can I do today or tomorrow to improve my own trading? All right. And there's lots of things. I'm going to pitch a few ideas and thoughts at you at what you can do. And today's session is going to be, partly about, my own journey. I'm going to be, leaning on experience from my own journey, okay, as I went through those kind of evolutions to become the best trader I possibly could be. And also, from learned experiences from, my time, coaching and educating traders for the last 10 years or so all over the world, okay? So, you're going to be able to get, the sort of the benefit of all that experience. For those who don't know me, my name is Paul. I've traded for many years. I've traded for hedge funds and high net worth clients. I've also coached and educated many traders all over the globe. For my own trading, I tend to be a trend trader for sort of the longer term swing and position trades, and I'm a kind of a reversal, mean reversion trader for my shorter term intraday trading. So let's have a chat about how we can improve my trading. Now, the first thing is that, there are, I meet lots of traders who think they don't need to improve. They think that they think they're the absolute, the bee's knees, as we would say in England, okay, when it comes to trading. But, what I can say, all right, from my own experience and from experience from coaching all sorts of traders over the years is that, trading is a performance activity, all right? It is not an industrial age job where you sort of turn up and do your 9 to 5 for 40 hours a week, okay, expecting a certain paycheck at the end of the week. It's not like that. It's a performance activity. And as a performance activity, that means, you are paid to perform. And like any performance activity, whether you're being a Formula One racing driver or an athlete or, a footballer or, maybe a concert pianist, etc. Whenever there is a performance involved, you are always constantly having to achieve a level of performance, and B, do whatever you can to ensure that you can maintain and improve that performance down the years. It's not a kind of a one-stop shop that you hit and stay. It's something that is effectively working on for the rest of your days. As I am myself, I'm constantly sort of working on what can I do to be a better trader tomorrow. Okay, and that never ends. And I would suggest that when traders stop doing that, that is invariably when they start to one of the reasons when they do start to struggle as traders. Okay, it's trading is a great way of keeping the best traders very humble. Okay, very grounded, very much in the process. Okay, of working at being the best trader they can be. And sometimes that can be a bit challenging. All right, because sometimes you don't see an immediate response. Okay, you might be working on something, on maybe a change of behavior or installing new habits. You might be working on that for days, weeks, months before you actually see some sort of dividend from it. All right, but I can assure you that none of that working on improving your own performance, your own trading, none of it is ever wasted. It will always pay dividends down the road. Okay, it's just part of the journey. And as the slide says, lots of people who start trading, they do so with many false and damaging expectations, all right, which are easily picked up from some of the information, okay, that you can find on the internet these days. And invariably what happens is it's that disconnect between the expectations they have and the reality of trading that causes them, harm, whether it be financial harm or emotional harm, and also leads to poor trading and increased poor trading as well. The reality is that everybody will experience slumps in their trading performance. That is a fact, okay? Anybody who tells you they don't is talking nonsense, okay? It happens to everybody, right? But as you go further down and deeper into your own trading journey, well, you'll start to develop, tools and techniques to effectively recognize, okay, when you're having a little bit of a slump in your performance, or there might be a sort of early warning signs that give you an idea that maybe it might be time to take a break, or time to sort of just step back and reflect upon what you're doing. Because invariably, it's how you respond to those slumps that determines your future as a trader. And today what we'll do is we'll look at what you can do to improve your trading. Okay, as I said, we're going to be focusing on the trading psychology here today, right? And it is about what can I do to improve my trading. So we need to sort of take a snapshot of where we are, and then start to look at, well, what can I do to improve tomorrow and and the day after. So I always kind of like to put up this this cartoon, a pogo cartoon. It's and I've put that slide up before. Is that if you're having challenges in your trading, okay, if you're having a bit of a struggle, or maybe you just feel as if you're hitting a bit of a brick wall, all right, let's say inexperienced traders are very quick to look at let's say external factors that might be contributing to their struggles or challenges. But the longer you trade, the more you trade, you realize that, like the cartoon is, we have met the enemy and he is us. And it's true, more often than not, you do more damage to yourself than anything else within markets, okay? And your ability to recognize and understand that, and have the awareness to deal with it is what can actually help you enormously as a trader. And as I said there, you are going to have the occasional slump in your performance of trading. It's the rule, not the exception. How you manage it determines your success. All right, we're going to look at that from a big picture today to see what you can actually do and how you can utilize that to help yourself. So, I put this slide up is because it's a case of, trying to understand what are the challenges that traders are dealing with. And this is an opportunity for you here, just you can put it into the chat box, what do you feel are the big challenges that you are having to deal with as a trader at the moment, okay? And everybody has them, all right? In one particular level or another, you may have them on a micro or macro, okay? But we all have our challenges, we all have our obstacles, all right? And you can find out a great deal by helping each other, because there's invariably some people who have had the same, challenges yourself. They are rarely unique challenges, okay? They're rarely unique challenges. So, you will get people who are feeling, they're getting frustrated because they're having inconsistent results, or they're being overwhelmed by actually, either the amount of data they're having to work with. Perhaps they have lack of clarity on a trading plan, or maybe they don't have any trading plan whatsoever. They're just literally sort of just, operating kind of freewheeling there in markets. And as it says here, has no rules, or they find themselves breaking the ones that they do have, all of which can lead to experiencing stress and pressure. Remember what I said a couple of slides ago about very often, there's, the big difference between the expectation and the reality, and then that gap in between, that's where things like stress and pressure can fill in. All of that can lead to people struggling to make the right decision at the right time. And that can lead to loss of self-belief, right? Loss of self-confidence, loss of discipline in the trading. And then sometimes what that happens is you find is that, there's frustration, and that boils over into other areas of your life, such as your work and maybe your day job, okay, your relationships, your finances. And all of these things, they kind of, they can be linked, okay, they can all sort of reinforce each other, so you have a performance slump. And maybe you've just been thought that, you've not been making the profits that you're led to believe you would. It's that thing about expectation and reality, okay? Expectation and reality, you can see some nonsense posted on a social media platform, okay? The reality can be quite different, right? And as I said, it's that gap there. That's where all sorts of stress, pressure, and pain can filter in. So, these are the sort of things, I hear, people contact me to talk about the trading. And there's actually, there's more, but, you start to see, recurrent themes. And as I said, maybe this is a chance, if you want to put in the chat box, what kind of challenges have you been struggling with? Maybe you've, struggled with them and overcome them. Maybe it's an obstacle for you at the moment, okay? Maybe it's giving you something to think about, okay? Or maybe you recognize that it's going to be a challenge in the near future. But, all of those things which I see, what it tends to happen is that, when does my phone really ring? Well, invariably what happens is a lot of people, for like kind of one of three things, right? They have, they've taken a big loss on some trading, right, which they didn't manage properly. That might lead to, or they may already be experiencing kind of emotional pain and they may also have an element of frustration. Okay, they feel as if they're in the sort of the last chance saloon with their trading. Okay, that's the sort of that's when you start to see, as I say, my phone really goes. Gert says there, he struggles with probably the right decision option. Okay, and that's great. I appreciate your candidness, Gert. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, and maybe we'll have a little look at as we go through, okay, what we could do to help you there, Gert. Okay, and as I said, if there are other people there, who've got challenges, put them in. Okay, it's as I said, it's rare that they are very unique. Okay, there's normally kind of a few different times. But what I tend to find is that people they're looking for revolution, all right, in their trading. They just want to throw everything out, want to scrap everything, start afresh. But actually, often it's merely evolution that they need. All right, they're just getting ready to evolve to their next level as a trader, and we are all doing that. Okay, we are all constantly doing that. Whether you've been trading for 2 weeks or 2 decades, we're always evolving to our next level as a trader. And I love that part of the journey, because you get to learn more about markets, about trading, and also ultimately about yourself. Okay, the good, the bad, and the ugly of yourself, right? And we all have those shades of ourselves. All right. Once again, don't let anybody tell you that that they don't. It is, we're all under the human condition. We all have it, and it's about how you open up to that and embrace it. Okay, and work with it, deal with it. As I said, that will actually help define your next level of success as a trader. So let's start talking about how can we actually improve your trading. All right, what is actually do we need to do? Those of you who've joined me before in my sessions say that when I'm actually either speaking to a client, or whether I'm actually talking about trading or talking about a subject like how to improve your trading, I'm always looking through those kind of the prism of those 4 M's of trading: markets, method, money, and myself. Right, those are the 4 elements that need to be managed. And what I have found constantly, okay, throughout my trading career, is that the traders, okay, who are able to manage that, who are on top of those 4 M's of trading, okay, it's kind of like they're in a sweet spot. And not unsurprisingly, when they're in that sweet spot, they tend to trade well, and they tend to sort of deliver good performance. And when they're not managing, all of those levels or one of those levels, that tends to have a little bit of a drawdown, okay, in their both in their trading performance and invariably their equity curve as well. So it is about all of us managing those 4 M's, right? And so let's talk about those 4 M's, and within those areas, what can you start to do to help improve your trading? So the reason I look at this, and the way I look at this is, I'm a big fan. I've mentioned this book before, Robin Sharma's The Greatness Guide. It's a great quote there from Robin: with better awareness comes better choices, and with better choices, you'll see better results. Clarity breeds success. And I totally believe what Robin says there. I'm really bought into that, okay? And part of my job as a coach and part of my job as an educator here is to help you, raise your own awareness, right? Raise your own awareness about where perhaps there's blind sides you've missed, or there's areas that, you've not really understood, or there's areas that you need to sort of work on in terms of development, and the ability to raise your awareness. With that, well, that gives you an opportunity to make better choices, and with better choices, you tend to see better results. So, that comes down to, working with good coaches, right? And, and really, this is more a comment about, you can find your own coach, okay? You might find your own trader buddy, all right? Find our buddy. You'll go onto forums, or if you'll go to a networking event, or I run trader events in Liverpool and London and Dublin, etc. And I'm sure there are ones in your part of the world as well. You start to meet someone, you start to give you something that is lacking for most private traders, namely accountability. All right, when it comes to that accountability, we all know that we should exercise more, okay, watch less TV, drink less, eat more fruit and veg, get more sleep. We all know these things. The question is, do you do them? All right. And invariably, it's when you have a coach that provides you some accountability that you start to do those things. And it is also the same with trading. Okay. So, if you're not working with a coach, all right, then maybe it's a chance to find yourself a good trader buddy. Okay. Someone that can actually help you, and you can provide each other with a bit of almost like buddy coaching. Okay. Just giving each other a little bit of accountability, to help each other, work and become the best trader that you can be. Okay, it's certainly when I first started out, that's what I had. I had a South African friend, Andreas, who I worked with, and basically, we would had an office together, and we would work and we would help to improve each other. That accountability, working on being the best trader we could be, day after day after day after day. But, before we sort of dig into the first elements, what I always suggest is that, if you're looking to improve your trading, the first thing you can start to do is, you need to recognize it's time to wrap. All right. Recognize, accept, and prepare to change. Recognize that, if you're having a struggle or if you're having a slump in your performance, it's the rule, not the exception, especially for, let's say aggressive intraday traders. All right. Recognize it's part of it. Okay. Recognize it, accept it. Okay, it says nothing about you as a human being. It says nothing about your levels of self-worth. It is about you just being recognizing that is part of your journey as a trader. Accept that is likely to be part of your experience. Okay, and nobody likes losing trades. Okay, nobody likes losing trades, but you have to accept that it's going to be part of your experience, right? It's going to be part of your experience, and it's about what can I do to learn from every loss? Okay, to use that to make me a better trader every time. And as I said, prepare to change. Start to look at the bigger picture. Start to look at it. Many new traders, when they struggle, they just think that they need a new method. They just think they need a new trading setup, but that will actually sort it out. But the longer you trade, the more you realize that it is those 4 M's, okay? The markets, the method, but also the money and the myself, all right? And managing those 4 areas, leading yourself in those 4 areas, that is where the kind of the next big evolution in your journey as a trader will come from. So let's have a look at how we can improve our trading through the prism of markets itself. Great quote there from Larry. Okay, first and foremost, if you argue with the market, you will lose. By all means, you are welcome to argue with the market, but as Larry says, you are likely to lose. Okay, you don't want to argue with the market, right? Why would you? But people do, right? People do, mostly because of their ego, right? Mostly because their ego getting in their own way. When it comes to markets, you have to recognize, are you trading the right market for yourself? You have a huge range of, asset classes and instruments that you can trade. Many of them there on the Admirals platform, from, stocks, equities, equity indices, commodities, FX, bonds, okay, fixed income, and crypto. And, lots of people trade all of those asset classes. Many of those people just trade one of those asset classes. It's about recognizing, is that the right one for you? Certainly at the very starting point, when I'm asking a trader, let's say a new trader starting out, I need to understand that they have the ability, okay, to understand that particular market. Is that market presently trending? Is it correcting? Is it range bound? Or maybe it's transitioning, okay? Maybe it's in a state of transitioning from trending to range bound, or range bound to trending. These are the sort of very simple starting points. But you'd be surprised, okay, how many new traders don't really fully understand how to analyze their market, okay? They don't really fully analyze. They've maybe seen a YouTube video, okay, or they've had an ebook, okay, that has driven them down one particular asset class. But the thing is, that might not be the asset class for them. So here we go. Have a little think about this. Some questions to ask yourself, okay, here and now, all right, about just the markets. Are you actually trading the right market for you? And do you know why it is the right market for you? Okay. If you're trading crypto, why are you trading crypto? Okay. Is it because you understand the industry, you understand what's going on there? Is it because you feel that you have a particular edge? Or is it because you've seen people making big money on the front of the newspapers, okay, and you just wanted a piece of that action? Be honest with yourself, all right? Now, sit down and ask yourself, are you trading the right market for you? And along with it, can you clearly analyze your preferred market? Can you clearly analyze? Can you really clearly understand, as we said, recognizing when that market is trending, or whether it's range bound, whether it's correcting, whether it's transitioning? Can you clearly analyze it? Because if you can't, well, it doesn't really matter what method you're trading, you're probably going to struggle. Do you know what moves that particular market, okay, and when? So if, let's say, you sort of trade a lot of pound sterling, all right? Pound sterling, okay, what will move it is things like central bank comments, okay? So, for example, yesterday with the Bank of England committee meeting, okay, and the comments from that will move, all right? That will move the pound sterling. There are also certain bits of news that come out during the week, okay? Certain particular economic pieces of the calendar that will in fact have an impact on the British pound sterling, right? Do you know those? Okay, you should do, all right? Okay, and if you don't, well, then take some time to make sure that you do. And for the actual market you're trading at the moment, can you actually stand the volatility or maybe the lack of it? Do you actually even understand the volatility? Do you understand what creates the volatility within that particular market? Okay, it's important. Lots of people sort of sometimes very much chase instruments that they believe are volatile because they believe the volatility means there's bigger moves, which is right. Okay, and volatility, when you're on the right side of it, is a fabulous thing. When you're on the wrong side of it, it's a painful thing. Okay, and you have to understand, okay, where do you sit there? Okay, what is actually your kind of your sort of almost like your emotional resilience to be able to withstand volatility within the market. Not all markets are made the same. Some instruments are enormously volatile, others not so much. And it's about working out which one suits you, which one actually suits your particular personality. Great to see you here, Vincenzo. You're very welcome as always. So those are questions for you to look at your markets in terms of going on to improve your trading. Okay, can you answer all of those questions? Take a couple of moments, write down a few notes from them. Just be, as I said, be honest with yourself. Right, be honest with yourself. You don't need to puff yourself up. You don't need to sort of act big for it. Just be honest. Okay, if you don't, that's fine. You just learn something that help you raise your awareness, so you can start to make better choices going forward. Dr. Alexander Elder, who will be also doing some fabulous webinars for Admirals. He's many fabulous quotes, but one of them being, private traders have one advantage over professionals, the ability to stay out of the market, yet they squander this advantage time and time again by trading when they shouldn't. And he's absolutely spot on. Lots of people will bring that kind of industrial age work mentality to their trading, thinking they need to be trading 8 hours a day, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, okay? But it's not that. Remember what I said, it's a performance activity. It's about trading when actually the markets are in alignment for you, when the market environment suits your style of trading. Very often, okay, and very often lots of traders trade in environments that just are not their particular environment. The sooner you get to know, you sooner get to understand markets, method, money, and myself, you're in a better position to sort of just trade when the markets suit you, okay, suit your method, and actually stay away from them when they don't. As Darshan says, it's at the Estonian doc will speak for his Estonian company. Yippee, him and his elder A. But absolutely fantastic, Darshan. Hope you'll be joining his webinars, and I'm sure we'll all have lots to learn from there from Dr. Elder. So that was markets. Let's have a look through the prism of methods now. All right, let's have a look at what we can do to improve our trading. As I said earlier, method is the most popular focus. All right, I run events for traders, and have done for years. Okay, and invariably when traders get together, they always want to find out, what other people's trading methods are, right? What methods they use, what systems or strategies or tactics. Traders love it. They love talking about it, and it is the most popular focus. But actually, for very long-term experienced, professional traders, it's nowhere near as popular focus. When you're a new trader, you just think, if I just get a better system, then I will be a better trader. And if it was that easy, the world would be full of traders, but it isn't, right? Because it's just one part of that kind of that sort of prism of those 4 M's of trading. We've looked at markets and how you analyze markets, okay, but a lot of people have their method defined by how they analyze. Okay, their method might come from analyzing markets through fundamental analysis, technical, or sentiment. As it says at the bottom, everything works and nothing works. Okay, it's about actually the melding of the markets and the method together. So it's about understanding, do you really understand what method you have? Do you have a trend following method? Does your method suit range bound environments better? Is it more of an arbitrage opportunity, or maybe it's an event driven method? Do you actually know? All right. Do you know? Are you aware of that? Okay. And as it says there, everything works and nothing works, because it is all about, getting it all together. Okay. You might have the most fantastic trend following method, but if the market environment we just looked at is range bound, it doesn't matter how great that trend following method is, you're still going to struggle. So here's some questions. here's how we can look to improve our trading here. Do you know why you're trading your present method? Right? Do you know it? Okay. Is it something that you picked up in an ebook or a friend gave to you, or you watched, a YouTube clip? Okay. Do you actually know why you're trading? Do you know what is the best market environment for it? Do you really? Okay. Is it turn out that you're trading, a range bound reversal method, right? And in fact, the markets you're trading, let's say US indices, which are all in very strong uptrends. That might actually just help explain why you might be having a few challenges. Are you able to explain your setup simply to a 10-year-old? That might sound a bit mad, but the thing is, if you can write it down and take and give it to a, maybe you've got a 10-year-old child, okay, 10-year-old son or daughter, and if they can understand it and follow it, that is normally a good sign that you have actually understood your setup, you understand your rules, okay. The fact that you can explain it to almost a complete beginner, okay, they can read it and they can follow it, that's a good sign. Do you have written rules at all? All right, or do you just basically just have a few ideas in your head and switch on the markets and think about how you'll have a little bit of a go at trading? Do you actually record all of your trades? Right, this is one thing that you'll find I'm hugely big on. Okay, constantly telling traders to record their trades. It's something that Dr. Elder, okay, I'm sure will touch upon in his own webinars as well. And once you have recorded trades, do you review them? Because that can be an absolute gold mine of information, an absolute gold mine. All right. Lots of fabulous information there that you can take and utilize to help you be a better trader tomorrow. So the great Ed Sikota, who is mentioned in Market Wizards, systems don't need to be changed. The trick is for a trader to develop a system with which he is compatible. That is absolutely crucial, okay? And this is why you have to understand markets, method, money, and myself. Because once you understand all of those four elements, you start to put together a trading method that actually suits you, okay? Suits you. Might not suit me, might not suit the next guy, might not suit anyone, but it doesn't matter. As long as it suits you, so long as you're able to understand it and you're able to execute it flawlessly, trade after trade after trade, that is when you know that you're on to a good trading method for you. So we've looked at markets, we've looked at method. Let's have a look at money now, okay? The prism of money. What do we need to do there to improve our trading via the prism of money? I would also suggest that money management, okay, risk management is the most necessary focus for all traders, all right? That is the number one job to do. You are not necessarily a trader, you are a professional risk manager, okay? If you're doing that job first and foremost, you will survive long enough to acquire the skills that enable you to prosper in the future. So, it is the most necessary focus. You are always managing risk, okay? That is what we're always looking to do. One of the challenges that many private traders have is that invariably they are undercapitalized, all right, for their particular goals. And that's not something to be ashamed of. That's nothing to be hard on yourself about. Okay, it is what it is. But if you have goals that are just lofty goals that far exceed the capitalization that you're trading with, once again, you are just creating that gap between expectation and reality, in which emotional pain will pour into. So it's about understanding that are you capitalized adequately for the market you're trading, and do your goals truly really reflect that. You should also be, ensure that you are effectively position sizing, trade sizing, okay, every single time you trade. And one of the most kind of fascinating things for me, when I coach traders is actually seeing people stick with their money management principles and rules. I've said many times, I actually think, okay, money management, risk management is actually one of the simplest elements of trading to grasp, okay, because it's quite simple. It's quite, rule based, and if you need somewhere to start, you just make sure that, you never trade without stop loss, and you never risk more than a small portion of your capital on any one trade. Even if you just do those two rules, you'll live to fight another day, okay, and to review your trades and improve and get better. But actually, lots and lots of people struggle to stick with it. And if that's someone like yourself, you struggle to stick with your money management goals, well, you have to sit down and ask, well, why is that? Okay, what is it? Are your goals too lofty, okay, too far stretching that you are invariably breaking your rules because you're just chasing, right? You're dealing with FOMO, fear of missing out, and you're a greed-based trader chasing the money, because invariably that rarely ends well. So here are some questions for you to answer in terms of how can I improve my own trading, right? Do you conduct risk management for every trading session? If you don't, stop right now, okay, and get some principles in place that you can follow for every trading session. Do you utilize position sizing for every trade? All right, that in turn is key, okay? If you don't understand what position sizing is, go back into the Admirals YouTube archive. You will find plenty, okay? You'll find plenty of videos there, okay, about risk management, okay? Make sure you watch them and understand what position sizing is, because you need to understand, okay, what type of position sizing you're using. Are you using dynamic or static? If you don't know what they are, go and watch those videos, okay? Make sure you understand it. Do you utilize stop loss for your trades, okay? And by that, I mean actually for all of your trades, not the odd one or two that, you know, when it suits you, but, you know, utilizing stop loss for all of your trades. Do you have a max position size for your account? Do you actually have rules by, you know, actually how much you would risk on a trade, how much you would have at risk in the market, and actually how much, you know, at what particular level you would actually have a cutoff if you're having a particularly sort of, you know, poor month with their drawdowns. And finally, are you adequately capitalized? Are you? All right. Now, you know, I appreciate most people who are joining us here, you know, they are trading around a day job, and invariably most of their trading capital comes, you know, from probably from their day job or other investments that have worked well for them. So it's a case of recognizing, you know, you work with what you have at hand, okay, and that's absolutely fine, okay. Everybody has to start somewhere. But if you are, you know, if you're not adequately capitalized, you have to recognize that that's going to be part of your job, is to grow and to build that capital account to allow you to trade properly. But equally, your goals, you know, and your you know, objectives, okay, they should reflect that, all right? They should reflect that, okay? You know, thinking you're going to have a, you know, a £200 account and turn it to a £100,000 account in the next couple of months. You know, I am a firm believer that anything is possible in markets, all right? I mean, you know, anything is possible, but in trading, we have to think about, well, what is the probability of that happening? The probability of that happening is very, very, very small indeed, okay? So do yourself a favor, all right? Just ensure that you're adequately capitalized, okay? And if you're not, that you have a plan in place to make sure you are, and that your goals, okay, your aims, your objectives, they reflect, you know, where you actually are. And as I said, it'll just be easier for you to basically, you know, achieve your goals. And by achieving your goals, that starts to build a bit of self-confidence, starts to build a bit of self-belief in yourself as you're a person that you can trust what needs to be done, you know, to be the best trader you possibly can be. So the wonderful trader coach, Brett Steenbarger, says a surprising proportion of emotional problems in trading can be traced to improper risk management. Mr. Steenbarger is absolutely spot on the money there. He's absolutely right on the money there. Okay, you know, it's you know, I've seen that, you know, on, you know, from private traders. I've seen that on trading floors. Okay, that I've either coached on or I've traded on myself from traders around me. All right, emotional problems that traders have, most of them are traced to improper risk management. Okay, they're either risking too much or they're risking too little based upon the objectives they have set themselves. Okay, and it just basically causes them all sorts of trouble. It is something that you need to grasp, okay? You need something to grasp, you need to understand, you need to work with. Glurts, what you'll find is that this, when it's complete, you'll find that this will basically, it'll be put up to the Admirals YouTube channel, and you'll be able to go back through it and basically stop and start at your you know, at your pleasure and at your leisure, and basically check all of the questions again. And then, so finally, let's have a look at myself, okay? The fourth M, we've had markets, we've done method, we've done money. Let's have a look at myself, all right? Managing myself. What can I do there to improve my trading? So what I often find is with completely new traders is that most often it's the ignored element, right? People think they don't have to worry about, you know, what's going on with themselves. People think that they trade in a silo, okay, that when they sit down to, you know, open their computer and trade, that actually everything else in their world, you know, just disappears, it goes away, and that actually they are just entirely focused on the trading. But the reality is that that is not the case, okay? You know, you have to actually understand what, if any, baggage you are bringing to your trading. All right, maybe you didn't sleep very well last night. Maybe you're out a little bit too late down the disco. All right, okay. Maybe you're up late having an argument with your partner. Okay, maybe you're worrying about financial issues. Maybe you had a problem at your day job. I assure you all of those elements, okay, all those elements, all that baggage will come out in your trading decisions. And therefore, it is important to understand yourself, okay, and how you operate and how you react to, let's say, some of those kind of, external factors. One of the things you also have to understand is, well, why are you trading? Okay, why are you trading? Is it because you are endlessly fascinated by trading and by markets, and you're curious about the ability to understand them and to be the best trader you can be? Or was it just you thought that this would be a very quick way to get rich? If it was the latter, I'm going to sort of be, sorry to disappoint you. That is not the case. Okay. If you're in trading, you have to be in trading because you love it. All right. Okay. You're fascinated by it. Okay. You find it, an intensely stimulating intellectually and challenger, that you can take on and sort of work with. And with that, your aims and expectations should be in line with that. In the same way, during the money section, we talked about how you need to have your goals in line with your capitalization. That your goals should also be in line with your aims, your expectations, and why you're trading, okay, and what you believe is possible. It's also important to manage the health across the spectrum. So you would say, your physical health, okay, and your mental health, your emotional health, and actually I'd probably even add in your financial health there, which might come under the kind of money management element as well. Physical health, that doesn't mean you have to have a six-pack to be a good trader, but it's important, okay, if you're going to be sat at your desk, normally human beings will operate and perform well for about 45 minutes, and after that your performance sort of starts to decline rapidly. That's just to ensure, okay, that basically that you can manage that, get up, go around, walk, go for a run, go to the gym, go and do whatever it is, just to keep yourself active from being sat down sort of on the edge of your seat watching markets. In terms of your mental health is about, I think is about, it's about the kind of the pictures that you paint for yourself, okay, about, what you're doing, okay. It is about the sort of stress and pressure that you find yourself under. It is about ensuring that you take, breaks from, breaks not just from your laptop, but actually breaks from trading as well. You will burn out faster in trading than you actually think you will. And you might be a super fit person, but I assure you that you will still burn out pretty rapidly. And then there is also your emotional health, okay? How are you actually feeling about your trading, about yourself, about your life in general? As I said, that's all sort of baggage that needs to be unpacked and looked at, and invariably, you will bring that to your trading. What can help with that is ensuring that you have the right support structures and network and a right environment around you. Support structures can be all manner, okay, of formal and informal support structures. Maybe you find that you and your partner, she's very good for you, she helps you, okay, in terms of support structure. That is not a bad place to start, but equally it's also something that you will outgrow, okay, and it's actually unfair to sort of to put so much emphasis or so much need and requirement upon your spouse. It's about building other support structures around you. So as I said a bit earlier on, maybe you have a little bit of a network, okay, of other traders that you can chat and talk with. Maybe you've got one particular trader buddy that you work with. Maybe you have a coach that helps you be in the best place you can be. Your environment is right, okay? Maybe that you have a little bit of space that is ring fenced, okay, for you to focus on your trading endeavors, okay, rather so than just trying to trade off your phone in a coffee shop, okay, which is, is rarely the sharpest way for, professional traders to operate. Darshan says a six-pack helps the trampoline to acquire it. I'll take your word for it, Darshan. It's probably about 35 years since I was on a trampoline myself. But if that works for you, then that's fabulous. That's all fabulous. So when we look at questions about how we can improve our trading, okay, improve through the prism of managing myself, the first question you have to ask yourself is, do you actually manage yourself? Right? Are you on top of that? Is it something that you proactively work at on a day-to-day business? Are you aware of what baggage you bring to your trading? Okay, are you truly aware? You might think you are, all right, you might think you are, but the question is, are you? As a very, very simple task you can take away, one thing that one of my own clients does is that literally before they switch the computers on, they open a notebook, and it's not even really a journal. They literally write whatever is in their brain. The language can be gobbledygook. It can be absolute nonsense. It might not read back even, grammatically correct, but the whole job is to just literally get whatever is rattling around in the brain, they get it out, they get it down. And they find that enormously helps them, because it's almost like giving them a clean sheet. They've just got all their nonsense out, turn the page, clean sheet, they're ready to sit and trade, okay? So maybe a little exercise like that, maybe try that next week. Every day you start to get up trade, just open a journal, write down whatever comes into your mind. Doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to force it, just do it. Do you proactively manage your physical, mental, emotional, and financial health? Okay, you're on top of those elements, all right? I like to sort of, I like to basically, schedule in 2 walks a day, okay, after each of the trading sessions, or in between the trading sessions, about an hour's walk in between, just effectively get out, get away, clear my head, all right, okay, just talk about it, trading, get done, and then get ready for the next session. And at the end of the day, go for a walk to basically, it's kind of putting the day to bed. Do you work with a trader coach? Okay, and if not, is it something that that would be of help to you? Do you have a trader buddy? Okay, is there somebody that you think you could connect with that would actually be good for you, that could help you, right? And you could help each other in becoming the best traders that they could be. I have an old client of mine. He works with his trader buddy. He works in London. His trader buddy works in Norfolk. They are both very poor at managing their trades. So invariably, when Nick puts on his trade, he phones up his trader buddy in Norwich, and once the trade is on, his buddy in Norfolk, Norwich, basically manages his trade for him, and vice versa. Okay, Nick will manage the guy in Norfolk's trades. All right, that is 2 trader buddies who've come together and basically utilized their own strengths to help cover each other's weakness, and it's an enormously beneficial sort of little working relationship for them. Those are the sort of things that you can do. There's plenty of forums and opportunities and ways and means to find and develop that. Have you built support structures around you? Okay, have you built them? Okay, have you built what could be just even simple things, okay, in terms of managing your health, in terms of actually maybe speaking to somebody about developing trader buddies, about actually having schedules of when you will trade, when you will take time off. All of these things are support structures that you can put in place to help you be the best trader you can be. Are your partner, your family and friends, are they truly supportive of you? And I do mean that truly, okay? Most people are, but invariably also, lots of people will have ideas about you, okay? They will have already pigeonholed you as a certain type of person. And if you are going down the route of becoming a trader, well, then that basically challenges their view of you. And so maybe superficially they are supportive of you, but actually deeper, that invariably they're not supportive of you, which is all about them, not about you. But it's important to be aware of that, okay? And hence why, I think sometimes having support structures and having trader buddies and coaches outside of your, let's say, your immediate family and friends can actually be quite beneficial and helpful. And finally, do you manage burnout? Do you even recognize when you're burnt out, okay? Do you even recognize when you're burnt out? One of the, here's a little simple sort of takeaway is that when people stop keeping their records, when people stop, they just get a bit lazy or sloppy with keeping their records, that is normally a very early warning sign that the individual is burnt out and actually probably needs to take a break away from trade. All right, and you will find there were lots of little signs. Okay, you will all have them, you will all display them and manifest them. It's about, do you really know them? Okay, and if you do are better, what do? Do you just try and fight your way through it and think, yeah, I can just trade through my burnout? Or do you actually proactively manage yourself away from trading so that you recover, rapidly, so you're able to come back to trading when you're back in a particular good spot? So, once again, fabulous words there from Ed Sikota there. I don't think traders can follow rules for very long unless they reflect their own trading style. Eventually, a breaking point is reached and the trader has to quit or change or find a new set of rules he can follow. This seems to be part of the process of the evolution and growth of a trader. And he's, once again, Mr. Sikota is absolutely spot on there, okay? See what he talks about, the process of evolution and growth of a trader, okay? We are all going through that constantly, all right? It is part of our journey as a trader. So those are those 4 M's of trading: markets, method, money, and myself. Be honest with yourself. Do you really actively manage all 4 of those M's? Were you even aware of those 4 M's of trading? And if you weren't, that's absolutely fine. That's what you're here for. You're here to be educated, right? To have your awareness raised. That's absolutely fine. But going forward, will you actually do what's required to change that? If you are struggling, here's a very simple top tip you can take away. Stop, okay, very quickly. Timothy Galway there, he is thought of as the godfather, grandfather, however you show, of coaching. And he talks about, if you're having a little bit of a struggle, stop. Know when to run away bravely and take a time out. Step back, think, organize your thoughts and proceed. And you can do that in a moment. You can do that for a day, a week, a month, however long it takes, okay? But if you are having a few challenges, if you feel as if you're butting your head against the brick wall, stop, okay? Just take a bit of time. So thank you, Vincenzo says that's sound advice. Thank you, you're absolutely right there. So, if you're struggling, as I said, you can stop. Think about, have you considered the relevance of the 4 M's of trading in your own approach? Are you managing risk? Do you really know your market and your method? Are you keeping records? If not, start. Do you have support structures in place? If not, start to build them. So in conclusion, performance slumps are the rule, not the exception, ladies and gentlemen. Accept them, all right, expect them, plan for them. All about raising your awareness. Those are the questions, okay, what we've looked at to improve your own trading, because it allows you to make better choices. By better choices, you tend to generate better results. Ask yourself, do you understand really the 4 M's of trading? And if you are having a bit of a struggle, then just stop, step back, think, organize your thoughts, proceed, okay? You can do that. Everybody is capable of doing that. So just to finish off, ladies and gentlemen, okay, same time on Wednesday, you can rejoin me, all right, where we're going to talk about understanding intermarket relationships and how to trade them, including what are intermarket relationships, how can we identify them on our charts, how to create simple trading plan for successful trading of intermarket relationships. So I'll be Wednesday, 10th of November, 2 o'clock London time. Check your inbox for the webinar link. If you want to get in touch with us, you can do. You can see the email address there is global@admiralmarkets.com. What we'll also be doing is, forget is that, we have a survey that'll be coming, and there'll be a survey sent to you after this particular webinar. It'd be fantastic if you could just take a couple of moments just to complete that survey. Maybe you have thoughts, okay, about, what we could do and cover in future webinars. We're always very happy to hear that. We want to be able to help you as much as we possibly can. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, all right? We've just gone through a fair bit on trading psychology, all about how can I improve my trade. As I said, if you're looking at those 4 M's of trading, and if you're looking at those kind of questions, all right, those challenges from each of those 4 M's, or if you were able to sort of take them on board, answer them honestly to yourself, within them, there will be the germs of what you need to do to evolve to your next level as a trader, all right? And don't be hard on yourself, okay? You can actually have an element of, compassion towards yourself if you've been struggling, okay? We are all on that journey, okay? We all have challenges at different times and places. We're all evolving to our next level as a trader. The important thing is that you just, sit down, work at it, okay? And try to work on becoming the best trader that you can be. Just being a better trader tomorrow than you were from today, okay? And that process and that progress will build up over time. So I hope you found that useful. I hope you found that insightful. As I said, if you'd be kind enough to fill in the survey, that will probably come through to you at the end of the year after this session. We'd really, really appreciate it. As always, I wish you the very, very best of success in your own trading, ladies and gentlemen, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Trade well, everybody. Cheers.